Your attention is, in fact, a divine currency. When you give people your eyes, your ears, or your heart, you are exchanging energy. You are fueling their kingdom, their vision, their beliefs. So I'm here to encourage you, soul family, to take a portion of that currency, your attention, and to turn it inwards and to place it in your personal bank. The reason for that is anytime you invest in yourself, it will always bring a harvest that you can personally collect. Yes, social media is great. Yes, entertainment is great. Society, friendships, community, all those things are beautiful and needful for the growth and the development of a whole soul. But I'm calling to remind you today in this video that your attention is indeed a sacred currency. Your attention, no matter how small or how large, is utilized and required by others for them to be able to expand and grow and fulfill their wishes and dreams. So regardless of how small you might feel, regardless of how insignificant you may question about your life and about your mission and about your purpose, I'm here to remind you that your attention is actually a currency. And every time you give attention to this or that, you are fueling, you are energizing, you are invigorating this movement of energy that is present on the planet. So we are now in an attention economy where your eyes and your ears and your heart is being sought after by many things, by many corporations, by many influencers and many people. So take a moment to realize that you have some authority. You in fact have a power within you, and it is grounded in your very nature and in your being. You'll be very pleased when I tell you there's nothing you have to do on top of what you're doing now to receive and accept this blessing. There's no additional inner work you have to do. There's no marketing, there's no promotion, there's no planning. All you have to do is realign and reassess your perspective. Once you realize that your conscious attention is a source of validation and currency for those around you, you will then start to see that as you give yourself a little bit more of that currency, a little bit more of that power and virtue, you're going to see an increase within your own life, a flourishing, a building up, a welling over. Because the truth is, there's no amount of pouring into your own cup can ever be too much. All that will happen is that your cup will begin to overflow and bless the lives of those around you. So stop thinking that you're doing too much for yourself or you're focusing too much on yourself. It really can't happen, because as you focus on your own garden and you water it, you're going to bring up all sorts of beautiful plants and vines and fruits that can be used for the healing of the nations and the world around you. So my brother, my soul family, my sister, my crew, I'm telling you today that your attention is absolutely priceless. Think about this. Only as you've been conditioned by the world around you have you started to see yourself as a product that must have some end goal. When you were born, or when a child is born, and you look at that child, you fall in love with the being. That child isn't producing anything. That child isn't contributing anything. That child is simply being. And yet you are completely enamored and in love with that person. And I want to remind you that that is your nature, my soul family. Your consciousness, your being, your very essence is the ground of value. And what comes out of your being and your essence, your conscious awareness and your attention. So the truth is, your soul, your consciousness, your being is the most valuable commodity present, to the point where every corporation on the planet is vying for your attention. So stop for a moment and realize your life isn't vague or insignificant or small. Every single life is like a piece of a puzzle. Without that final piece, the puzzle would never be completed. Your attention, your conscious attention and your perception is actually a super currency. It's actually a superpower. And we are now expanding and opening into the age of the attention economy. And you realize that what you give your attention to is of the most value, because out of the heart comes forth all things. And what goes into the heart is what stews and builds and brews and influences your character. So I'm pleased for you, Soul family, that you are taking time and also thought in what you're putting in to your vessel. You've come to that place of understanding that your attention is actually a very valuable commodity. And in fact, you're going to use it to encourage and build up your soul and your community. So whatever it is you're listening to, whatever it is you're imbibing, remember today that that currency exchange from you of your attention is actually a gift. So I want to thank you for the time and the attention that you've taken for this message in this remembrance. I am the Harmonic Alchemist, part of your soul family, here to encourage you at this time and in this way to keep pressing forward in your growth, to keep expanding in your self-knowledge and realization, to continue pressing forward, and most importantly, to recall and to remember your intrinsic value. Okay? Yes, we are part of a consumeristic society, very much part of extreme elements of capitalism in this last decade or two of our Western culture. And in that place, sometimes an individual can be or feel disempowered because you feel as though your voice is so small or minimized. But the truth is, all of these major corporations and all of these big entities are trying to capture your attention. Your perception, your perspective is actually very, very valuable. There's only one perspective like yours. There's only one form of attention like yours. There's only one consciousness, that is you. So be encouraged this day and take a little bit of that currency and fold it back into yourself. Maybe it's a skincare routine, maybe it's some fitness, maybe it's a food, maybe it's organizing a really cool date for someone that you like. Maybe it's pouring into yourself in a larger measure and doing the things that you love, that you know bring you satisfaction, wholeness, and joy. Remember, as you water and tend your garden and those fruits bloom, you're going to be able to feed those around you with the joy of gladness and peace. I'm thankful for the laser-like focus of your attention and how you're giving it very consciously to elements of your life that you want to see grow, and very consciously to those around you who you want to see expand and their message increase. So I give thanks for you, soul family, and I say your attention is divine currency. Be blessed, keep dreaming in all that you do. Peace.